In this microlecture, we will be talking about theory of change. We will talk about the different components of theory of change. And theory of change is a major component of your program evaluation plan project. Theory of change can be defined as the cause and effect relationship between a specific intervention and an intended outcome. You'll see that the specific intervention is also expected to be informed by the community need. Let's talk about each of these components and what they mean. The community need or problem refers to the specific need in the community that your program aims to address. There are three main components that should be addressed: the scope of the problem, the significance of the problem, and the causes of the problem. So, the scope is the extent of the issue in your local community. The significance is the so what question. So, why should people care about this particular need or issue? And causes explain why the need exists and how it came about and how long it's been around. You will need to show these three things using data. So, the best data comes from reputable primary sources. So, government agencies, foundations, universities that have completed their own research. It should also be current, so as up to date as possible, and locally relevant. So it should be relevant to the geographic location that the program serves. So let's talk about what data sources may look like for each one of these components of the community need. For the scope, this is the extent of the issue in your local community. So, in other words, what is the severity or the intensity of the need for those that are affected by it? Or what's the prevalence of the problem in the community? So, how many people are affected by the problem? Another way to address this or show this would be to say the percentage of the community affected by the problem. For significance, you will want to look at data that shows how the problem is connected to other community issues. You also will show here what kind of trends there are in the problem. So, is the problem getting worse? And then finally, data on causes will be historical data that can show how the problem got to where it is today. So, one more note, you'll notice that the scope and significance are related to the community need and describing the community need. The causes will be directly related to the intervention that you choose to address your problem. So the causes should directly align with the specific intervention that you choose. So let's talk about specific interventions. A specific intervention is a set of activities that you have chosen to address a need. And this is based on evidence that a similar approach worked in the past or elsewhere. We'll talk more about evidence later in this micro lecture. There are two main components of the intervention that should be addressed in a theory of change. One is the design, and the second is the dosage. The design is a clear description of activities designed to address the community problem. So, what are the things that people will do in your program? What are the actual things that will be done to address the problem? And then the dosage refers to the frequency, so how often they receive the intervention, the intensity, so what level is the or how comprehensive is the intervention, and then the duration, so how long do the participants receive the intervention? Is it just for a week? Is it for a year? How long? So, one key note here is that the intervention must directly address the community problem. This is something that you will need to show how the intervention is going to address the community problem. That is the purpose of the theory of change, is to show the underlying reasons for why the intervention will make some sort of change in the community problem. So, the last component of the theory of change is intended outcome. This is a change in attitude, knowledge, behavior, or condition that the intervention generates. So, from the intervention, what is expected to happen? And for any outcome, there are some indicators that we are looking for. We're looking to see that the outcome is likely to change due to the intervention, that it's directly related to the community need, and that it's achievable within the given time frame of your evaluation. So let's talk about alignment. All elements in a theory of change should be in alignment. So remember that the arrows in the theory of change diagram depict the logical flow or an if then relationship between each element. However, the thought process used to formulate a theory of change starts with the reason for the intervention, the problem, or the need, then the intended change, the outcome, and then the activity that will bring the outcome about the intervention. So, when we think about the alignment within a theory of change, we're looking for the logical flow and connection between the three main elements. So, let's take a look at this. So, the identified community need or problem to be addressed as documented by available data should be related to the intervention. So we should know that other programs in similar situations have used this intervention and been successful at achieving the intended outcomes. All right. So all three of the elements should be in alignment. And your theory of change serves as a base for your logic model, which will further develop your intended outcomes. The last slide in this micro lecture focuses on the evidence for your intervention. So, evidence is the information from performance measurement results or evaluation or research findings that inform your understanding of why the intervention you have selected will result in the change identified as the outcome. So, this could be findings from previous evaluations of the program that you're evaluating, or more likely, it will be from research findings from similar programs. So, a few indicators of high quality evidence. First, it demonstrates high likelihood that the intervention can achieve the intended outcome. It's from a program with a similar design, provides directly relevant performance measurement, evaluation, or research results, and it appears to be high quality and used rigorous methodology. And then also, it is from a program that not only has a similar design, but a similar dosage. On Moodle, you will find a resource and an application activity for you to complete to apply this information and to ensure that you fully understand theory of change.